Got Justin DeTavia on the line from Ironman Football. You can join him on State of the U, where he breaks down Miami's tape and opponents' tape, and also join him on Twitter at IronmanFB. So, Justin, obviously the RPO has taken over, as we alluded to previously. For people that watch as much football as I do, like 15 hours on a Saturday, we can pick up certain things. We're more knowledgeable than other people, but not nearly as much as you. And if you've played maybe at the high school level, you understand maybe a few other things. But if you could break down the RPO and what makes it effective and what are the keys from start to finish, I think we'd better understand what the concept is.
Yeah, it's what's funny is it's a simple concept. The best way to describe it is in the Georgia Tech Navy type of option offense, it would be a double option. You're on the basis. The easiest way to teach is a double option that, you're either going to throw some kind of a passing combination that's tagged as a package onto a running concept. So if you're running split zone, so H-back's on the right side, he's going to kick back down, the defensive end on the left. You're going to give the back the ball. He's supposed to go to the right side. He can cut back. So that's a running concept. Quarterback doesn't have to run, right? Split zone, he doesn't run on split zone. He's going to hand the ball off and then look over. If the overhang player, you have to put somebody in conflict. The thing that Mark Richt wasn't doing very successfully at Miami is putting a player in conflict. So you want to put someone in conflict. I like to pick on 5 technique defensive ends, and I like to pick on flat defenders. So if I'm going to put those guys in conflict, they're not going to have to wonder what's coming. So, you might gap hinge, which is just your typical turn in, turn out block on a defensive end. He gets gap hinge, he gets a split zone. That means the H-back to hit him right in the face. The next time that you go to that guy, you're going to run dart, which is tackle wrap. So the tackle's going to pull from left to right in front of him. So now he's been gap hinged. He's been kicked out in split zone. Now he's had a guy pull in front of him. So you're picking on him. He's slow, right? Every time that he sees that pull, now he's going to be nervous because a quarterback might pull and run dart and run back behind him. Well, in the RPO part of that, you're picking on the flat defender. You can run a bubble. You're going to, kind of ride it. That guy plays the run, you throw the bubble. That guy plays the bubble, you hand off. That's pretty easy. Then you start adding in concepts, right? You run a stop route so that you have the bubble, but you have a slant on the other side of it as opposed to having him stock block, that outside receiver. Now, the flat defender, you're hoping he runs with the bubble so you can throw the stop behind him, right? Now he's really frozen. He's not going to move anywhere. Now he just freezes his feet. You can do whatever one of the ones you want to. You can hand the bubble, you could throw the stop, or you could, pull and run. You can do almost anything on him now because he's frozen. Then you just run your typical passing game, and you run a wheel route. He goes out and pulls up field, and that guy, flat defender, is just frozen because he's been picked on so much he has no idea what to do. If you're just grab bagging at plays, the RPO doesn't make any sense. But when you're running concepts that look very similar to each other over and over again, eventually you can really start picking on that guy and even have rub routes. You're going to bang them into each other. So the flat defender corner just kind of run into each other, right? Florida State was big on that with Jimbo Fisher. Notre Dame runs a lot with Brian Kelly, where the outside receiver's running a slant, but he's not. He's just banging into a guy. And the arrow route, that flat zero, comes out around the backside of it. You throw that thing, it goes for 40 yards. So I think that's run pass option to me is just a double option. It becomes a triple only when you're going to pull and the quarterback can either throw the bubble out there while he's in the middle of a run. So that would be inside zone with a bubble to the pull side. That would be the only time it would really be triple option. You can always RPO the third level, so that's the safety. Baylor was really famous for doing that for a long time. The Art Briles running outside zone with a backside post. You can, again, and then the other one would be to RPO the second level linebacker.
Justin, is there any thing that comes to mind over the last couple of years where you were watching tape or just watching a live game and you saw something that would be transparent to the rest of us that could be just a very subtle wrinkle? Because at this point, I would think that most of those offenses are developed in that mold. We pretty much see everybody running the same base offense for the most part, about 90% of the country. But it really stands out as wow, I haven't seen that before. That's interesting, or that's really innovative.
Sometimes it's the way people do things. Like, I think it was Noel Mazzoni when he was at UCLA was running like a screen pass option. So, trying to think about exactly how he did it. It was like if like the stick route on the front side's not there, so he covers his stick route. So that's just where the slot receiver runs about 5 yards and turns around. The linebacker covers that. He was just throwing a screen on the other side, running back screen. So the left side of his whole line is blocking a screen out to the flat. So linemen are just downfield, just running around there killing somebody. And the right side of the line is pass setting in front of him. The right side's running 2 hitches more or less. The left side is out blocking, and the running back's running a screen. So if that thing gets covered, he throws. If it's uncovered, he just darts it in there real quick. That's pretty cool. I like that. We run a form of that where I coach that I hadn't really ran before and thought was really innovative, which is a double screen where you either throw it to the back or you can, and if the back's covered, then you throw it. So you're hoping that tunnel screen on the other side is open. It's never been covered yet, so we've been pretty lucky with it. But it's a hard thing to cover on a backside. So you can kind of wait and not read it. You read the swing and then you turn and throw. It's like a swing to tunnel. I think it's pretty cool. Guys are just doing cool stuff like the Longhorn down play Daniel Holgerson ran against Texas was pretty cool. Just having, it's what you'd call, somebody's called water bucket. We called it swinging gate in Florida, where, on the extra point, you'd have the offensive line on the left side with like a receiver. You'd have the holder, the kicker, and the snapper in the middle. And you'd have like one receiver split out to the right. He sort of does that in a way with the Longhorn down, where the outside receiver has the chance to run like a slant or a fade. Quarterback can always keep it and run draw. And we saw Will Grier run it in for touchdown. Or you can throw a sit down, and there's like a tunnel. There's like 5 different plays rolled into one, forcing a defense to game plan for all 5 and cover all 5. It was almost impossible. So it was almost like the flawless 5 yards and in play.